My main area of research now is intervention studies on combining exercise approaches with some supplementation, food supplementation, to improve sarcopenia and frailty. We've been working with fish oil supplementation, and we have shown that when you exercise and take tablets with fish oil, you get improvement in muscle strength that is better than exercising only, for example. There are many substances now being evaluated for improving sarcopenia that is not just protein. And also there are some, nowadays, we are seeing some controversy in terms of protein supplementation. There may be some risks that have not been understood well by now. If you load someone with a high dose of protein, there is a risk of increasing glucose intolerance, for example. There are some studies showing that. That's not exactly new, and it's controversial. But there are some risks involved. People beforehand thought that maybe kidney function was affected by protein load. That's not really a big deal, but still we're not very sure of how much protein someone needs to eat to keep fit or to improve sarcopenia. There are some studies suggesting that, at least in some situations, it's plausible. Doctors are prescribing exercise, as far as I know. The thing is how to prescribe the correct exercise. It has to be personalized. You need to know the person you're prescribing to. You need to know their habits, their preferences, their life stories, so you find the exact exercise that fits the person's preferences and beliefs. So that's, I think, it's a big point. If you just prescribe exercising as a general measure of you need to do weightlifting or something like that, and it doesn't make sense to the person, it won't work. They won't stick to it. They can stick for a month, for 2 months, but as soon as they lose contact with a short, a tight contact with the health professional, it's just lost. They just leave We see that a lot in research. You train people for 6 months or for 4 months, and then you reassess them 6 months after the end of the studies, and they are doing nothing again. There are implications from birth, if you talk about protein and muscle, because like bones, the muscles have a peak in the middle age, at your 30s. And if you build muscle mass until this age, until maturity, you have more mass to lose. You have an extra savings of muscle to waste while you get older. And so if you exercise since your childhood, and eat properly, protein and everything else, it's favorable for your health in older ages. So we start too late sometimes. You have to think about, even during pregnancy, we know that babies being born with low weight and being refed too soon or too quickly, they tend to be diabetic, obese adults. So it's really a matter of, you have to talk. If you're talking about health, you need to be talking about pregnancy and early life as well. We need to measure correctly the capacity of the person throughout the whole life. And this has been talked about in the morning now, that is intrinsic capacity. You need to measure someone's physical capacity, biological capacity throughout the whole life. And as much as the pediatricians do growing curves, we need to be building curves of decay along life when you're getting older. So you know if someone is getting older in a good way, or if they're falling down to lower levels of energy and muscle mass or strength and everything else. So you really need to look at things longitudinally, not just as a cohort and say, now we need to do something because this person is getting frail or is getting sarcopenic. You really need to see the person when things are starting to get wrong. So you can intervene early, and that's the best thing to do.